This is showing you guys worst case scenario of what could happen if you don't. Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your November soul session. I am Marlo. If you were new and if you were okay, family, welcome back, my friend. If you're not familiar with what your soul sessions are, they are your spirituality as well as personal development readings in which we look at the energies that you guys may encounter for a given month for the sole purpose of giving you clarity, insight, and guidance and all of that good stuff and whatnot or whatever. So anywho, alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and jump into your cards. The first card out, if I can pick it up, we have the Two of Baskets in the reverse. That would be cups. Then we have the Nine of Knives. Interesting. And then we have the Two of Knives in the reverse. And then the next card that came out is Father Sims, and that is the Temperance card. This is interesting. Okay, so what it is looking like, Capricorn, coming out of October and into November, the first thing that comes to me is that this is about a relationship or a partnership, but there was a disconnect. And this can manifest in a myriad of different ways here, because this can either be like literally a breakup, right? Or it could be just the fact of a romantic partner, or it could even be a friendship, you know, family connection, what have you. And there was just like a disconnect. It's almost as if how I'm picking up on it with this Two of Cups in the reverse, it's like it was there and then suddenly it's just not. So I feel there's two different groups of people with this. For some of you, it could be in a friendship relationship, you vibing with a person and then suddenly feeling like things are off. For others of you, this could have manifested as an actual breaking of ties, if that's making sense. Now, with this Nine of Swords here, is more or less because of this disconnect with this particular person or this breakup. It's more or less you guys being in a place of ambivalence. And I'll say with the Two of Swords in the reverse, being in a place of ambivalence and anxiety. So it's more or less a sense of like unrest or not knowing or confusion or fear and, you know, can't sleep, can't eat type of vibe. And I feel that more in the sense of not really quite understanding what happened, right? Especially if this was kind of like an abrupt disconnection, but it's not really understanding what happened or what led to the disconnect or what caused things to get to this place. So it may be like a lot of, you know, running thoughts of, did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? You know, are they coming back? Are they not coming back? But the whole key with this is, with this Two of Swords in the reverse, there's a need for you all to make a decision to, and I guess I can say it two ways. The two things I heard, the first one made me feel like it was almost like a resistance almost. So the two options here are either to accept that the situation is over and to move forward, right? Or the other side of it would be like reconciling the situation. So if it's, you know, if you feel there's a disconnect between you and your boss or friend or, you know, family member, romantic partner, whatever the case, the solution more or less would be to cultivate balance, would be either speaking to the person and saying like, hey, things feel off. Things have been feeling kind of off with us. Like, you know, what's going on, right? To get clarity to kind of remove you out of this. Cause I feel it's almost like you're trying to get answers or get a solution to what's happening without actually speaking to the person. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of running yourself mad trying to figure out what's going on. But there's a need for another side of the story. Because of course, this very clearly to me involves two people. Now, on the other side of this, where I could see where if this were to be something just strictly internal, where this would just be dealing with you as an individual, this would be like a disconnect from spirit. So it's more or less being in a you know, a negative headspace or a worrisome kind of headspace, like literally what the Nine of Swords is. But if this is something that's just dealing with you, I would feel this energy of the Nine of Swords kind of preceding this disconnect. So this would be like in the latter part of October, is just feeling kind of disjointed with yourself, not feeling like yourself, you know, and kind of being consumed by that energy. That's where this emotional disconnect happens, leaving from October into November. And it's still kind of perpetuating that energy. And in such of a case, it's still the same solution with this Two of Swords in the reverse. There's a need to make a choice. One needs to get clear, like reconnect the mental space and the heart space, in the sense of figuring out what it is that you're desiring, what it is that you're wanting for yourself, right? In accordance with what's, you know, best for you in this particular situation, or so on and so forth, and making a decision about this thing and acting on it, right? And for those of you where this is something like that reconciliation vibe, I really would just feel this in a sense, not like someone ghosted you and you go track them down type of thing. But I feel like if there's like a disconnect with a boss, coworker, friend, family member, romantic partner, whatever the case, that what could give you some solace to be able to make a decision is by gaining whatever clarity you feel that you're missing. Because with this Temperance being here, it's more or less speaking to what's keeping you out of alignment, what's keeping things in your life at present from moving forward, and what may be making you guys feel kind of, you know, emotionally unstable or not able to sleep or whatever the case is, the fact that, you know, there is a lack thereof of a choice, and that choice exists because there's a lack thereof of clarity or an answer. So it's a need to get clarity, to get an answer, to be able to put both feet down so that you're able to move forward regardless of what it is. Because I feel with this Capricorn, this is very fear-based. As to why it is, I feel that you guys aren't seeking clarity, because in some sense or another, it's more or less on one side, you having your mind made up already, even though you don't know. So it's kind of like, why bother talking to the person? You know, their behavior has completely switched up. So of course, you know, there's something going on, right? Like they definitely probably, you know, don't want to be with me anymore, you know, don't want me to work here anymore, don't want to be my friend anymore, whatever the case, right? But it's the fact of kind of knowing that. So it's kind of like a Jedi mind trick that you're playing on yourself a little bit, because it's knowing this, it's being aware of what you believe is actually happening, but it's still not acting on it. So it's still being stuck in this energy of ambivalence. So it's still coming back to the fact of, even if there is a disconnect, you're aware of the disconnect, you have to make a decision about said disconnect, or to walk away from it, or to attempt to heal the disconnect by having a conversation with the person. Now, the next card that came out is the Nine of Coins. So of course, you guys knew that is my independent man, independent woman card, right? And this is more or less an energy of independence, of being unbothered, right? Now, this is interesting. I want to clarify this because I can see this one or two ways. I can see how Capricorns could be projecting this. I can also see how who this person is could be projecting this. So let's get some more insight into who this is speaking about. Okie dokie, lemon choking. We have letter, and we have the Lover and the reverse. Interesting. So this would be someone else. So here's the dealio. With whoever this person is for you guys, it's more or less like, and how I was saying in the beginning, this feels a lot to me like, not saying that this is just simply romantic, but the energy that's pronouncing itself above every other scenario is heavily romantic. So this, of course, would be those one or two things where this is an emotional disconnect with a partner that you're still with, right? Like you're still talking to the person, but things just don't feel the same. Or this is actually like a separation here. And it's kind of falling into despair because it's not understanding what happened. But it still goes back to the same thing that needs to be done is, and I can even see how this would relate to the same thing how I was saying, if this just related to you as an individual, it would be this mirroring effect type of thing, you know, where it's a disconnect with oneself or it's a disconnect with another person that would eventually cause a disconnect with oneself, right? Where how I was saying like this anxiety and stuff that kind of predates this energy of the Two of Cups in the reverse. It's like whatever this disconnect was is what threw you off kilter. But the reason why coming into November, you guys are still in this space is because there hasn't been a decision that was made. You know what I mean? And I feel also with this Nine of Coins here and this letter and this Lover in the reverse, it's saying that you're waiting for something, right? Like Temperance being here, which is Sagittarius energy, by the way, this is more or less speaking to the I don't even know if this is the right word to use, but I'm gonna say it just because it's here. But like if we were to look at like your ordination, right? For the month of November, I cannot talk. For the month of November is for you to be in alignment with yourself. It's for you to be balanced. It's for you as well as everyone else in the collective to be transcending a timeline. I feel with this Nine of Coins also, it should be for you all to be seated in your power, like enjoying the fruits of your labor, if you will. But I feel this particular situation is overshadowing the energy that you guys are ordained to be standing in, right? I also feel with this, with the Lover in the reverse and the letter, it's more or less my Capricorns are waiting to hear from this person in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So that could be hypothetically, if there's this emotional disconnect with you and someone, right? It's, and you know, it's driving you mad that, and you're like fearful of what it could be, but you don't want to talk to the person because it's almost like not wanting it to be final. So it's kind of this thing of, if I talk to them, I already know what they're going to say. And it's like, I'm not ready for that. So it's kind of just coasting. So this indecision with the Two of Swords in the reverse comes from making a decision to not make a decision, right? But again, the energy that would behoove you guys to be in this month is Temperance, because you're supposed to be transcending a timeline. So this is more or less a situation I'm seeing that's coming in more or less as a dark distraction a little bit, but it's kind of getting sucked into it. And I feel the thing that is bothering Capricorn with this is that the person, whoever this is, and I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's probably like a romantic partner or something like that. It's this person seems unbothered and they're not saying anything. And it's like another level of frustration of the fact of like, how is it that this disconnect happened, or you just ghosted me, broke up with me, whatever. And, you know, I'm going through all of this stuff and they seem unbothered and they're not saying anything. You know what I mean? But I feel the person's justification for not letting go, meaning you guys, Capricorn, the justification for not moving forward or making a decision is because you don't know, but you know enough to make a decision, is what I'm saying, right? Like it feels as if you don't know enough because you don't know if this disconnect really happened. Is this person really gone? You don't know, but it's not wanting to do anything in the direction of finding that out, right? Because it's a fear of hearing the answer that you don't want to hear, that some of you may already feel you already know what it's going to be. And it's just kind of taking a back seat and hoping and waiting that things kind of work themselves out. But also in the meantime, still waiting to hear from this person and still not hearing anything from it. And then when you look at them, they seem completely unbothered, right? So on the other side of things, what Capricorn is projecting out is being completely unbothered, right? As if they're not waiting and you guys are. And notice, following that train of thought, some of y'all might have to like double tap to rewind that, because what I just said was like, a clusterfuck of stuff, right? But that's how I'm seeing the energy. You know what I'm saying? It's like disconnect, anxiety, worry, can't just cut this off because I really don't know, you know what I mean? And that's where this whole 9 of swords, just like, you know, tornado of thoughts is coming from, in other words. The next cards that you guys have is the Ace of Wands in the reverse. So there's a lack thereof of a new beginning. So here's the thing, Capricorn. Even if we were to put this in the context of like forgiveness, right? And this may sound cray-cray, but if we were to put this in the context of forgiveness, like the video that's up on my channel, I was saying that when we forgive other people, it's not for them, it's for us. Because when we don't forgive, right? Or if we don't seek clarity in a situation, if we don't communicate, if we don't use our words, if we allow fear to hold us back, we end up holding ourselves hostage to our past. And that's very much what it is I'm seeing here. It's more or less putting on airs in a sense, because it's a lot of different dynamics I'm seeing with this. It's like, I see clearly what would behoove you all to do this month, because the key is to be in balance, to, you know, transcend this timeline, to move forward, right? To have your new beginning, because this energy that's here, even though this is reversed, this whole line of cards for me is saying what ideally should be happening. It's, you know, spirit bringing in, you know, new cycle, transcending, you guys sitting in a position of power, abundant and things of the sort. And then bam, here goes your new beginning. And it's something that you can pursue moving forward. However, whatever this instance is that happened in the latter part of October, right? And I mean, for some of you, this could literally be the midpoint of October into the latter part of October. But this thing came in, and it was supposed to be a temporary energy. So say hypothetically, if this is like a person that is removed out of your life, or if this emotional disconnect happened, a lot of people disconnected from a lot of people last month with all of the transits and stuff like that we had, right? So this is supposed to be someone who gets axed out, and then you guys move forward into this energy. However, this is a temporary thing that happened, a temporary energy shift, and it's getting stuck there, right? And even though you were stuck there coming into November, that would still be cool. The only thing one would need to do in order to break up this energy is make a decision to pick a side, but that still hasn't happened. So this energy, like a choo-choo train, ain't gonna wait for you. You know what I'm saying? It's still gonna pass through. And it's more or less you guys having a decision this month if you're going to elect to jump on the train, right? Because it's more or less jeopardizing your new beginning because of this one particular instance, because it's getting caught into the energy and continuing that on into this new cycle, if that's making sense. And that's why I call it a dark distraction. You know what I'm saying? It's like this this energy, it's like one is holding themselves hostage to this energy, because I was, the way I was about to say it was almost as if I was personifying the energy, if you will, like saying that it's the energy's fault kind of thing, but the energy is doing what it's doing and we make a decision around it, you know? Next card that we have is the Six of Cups in the reverse. So this very well can have something to do with someone from your past. This could be friends, family members, childhood loves, childhood friends, things of the sort. Then we have the Five of Knives in the reverse. We have the Hermit. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the Lovers in the reverse. Capricorn. This energy looks like y'all acting like a Taurus. I just have to say it and be honest, because it's a stubbornness. You know what I'm saying? Like, even looking back at this Nine of Pentacles in the center of the spread, like I was saying, you and whoever this person is, I can already tell you that this karmic cycle that we just came out of in October, this person was a participant in your karmic lesson, right? And the reason why this person was a participant in your karmic lesson is because a lot of the energy I've been seeing with all signs is this mirroring effect type of thing that's happening. And this person is like your perfect mirror. But where these karmic lessons get tricky, right? And it's very similar in dynamics to like twin flames, right? It's like a lot of what the philosophy that twin flames kind of borrows its ethos from. It comes from what is just, you know, projection, like our normal karmic cycles and lessons that we're going through in everyday life with a lot of people, right? Because we incarnate with a lot of people from our past lives. So the whole premise of this is this particular person, I can tell you, is a karmic partner, but not necessarily in a romantical sense. Like I'm not speaking in the construct of like the twin flame dynamic, but meaning literally this is a person that you have a contract with, right? The two of you came into each other's lives to transform each other, right? But the thing that I'm seeing here is I feel the other person, Capricorn, like how I was saying, energy is just doing what it's doing. I feel the energy that this person is operating in, they're just doing what they're doing. Like they're running like a program, right? So when this energy comes through, right, what this two of cups in the reverse represents, this disconnect, the disharmony, whatever it is, when this happened, it was supposed to happen. So whether this is, you know, breakup, disconnect, whatever the case, that happened, right? So the key is here, this person, your, you know, karmic partner, if you will, this person from Capricorn's perspective seems very unbothered, right? Capricorn, on some sense or another, feels wounded by this person, right? But the thing I'm seeing on both sides is this is an energy that came in and it happened. And there's the energy before, which is one of my philosophies on life, is we have no control over what happens or when it happens. The only two things that we have control over is preparing what we will do, like if and when it happens, and how we'll respond afterwards. That's the only two things in life that we have control over, right? So this is one of those instances where this is an event that happened, like bam, nail in the coffin. So now you can choose, and even if you didn't have the ability to prepare it, because this came out of left field, now that it happened, you now have the power and the ability to make a choice on how you're going to handle things now that they've happened. The issue is this energy is coming in to usher you into a new beginning. You haven't made that choice, waiting for this person to contact you or to say something, right? Or, I mean, for some of you, it could literally be waiting for this person to apologize, waiting for this person to acknowledge what it is that they did. But the person, from your perspective, how you're perceiving them is as unbothered, like they're not worried about it. And then that can exacerbate the feeling even more so, which is carrying it more into the middle of the month, right? And I'm saying this is not saying this is going to happen, because you have free will. You can make a choice to change this, but this is just how I'm seeing it from, you know, the point of where I'm tapping into this energy, right? So the person seems unbothered. That can exacerbate what it is that you're feeling, because now it's like feeling like the audacity of them, right? That's holding you back even more so, right? So you should be grabbing this torch to move forward. But now with the Six of Cups in the reverse, it's bringing you even deeper into the past. And this can be a thought reel, where it's either every single time this person hurts you that you're thinking about, after all that I've done for them, and they're going to do this, and the audacity of them to not apologize, to not contact me, to just leave like that, whatever the case, to seem extremely unbothered, whatever. Or this could be other situations you've experienced in the past that are very reminiscent to this. And now, again, this is bringing you even deeper into a low vibrational energy, right? So now where there's energy that's trying to thrust you to the future, it's one being brought deeper and deeper into the past. And why is that? Because there's the lack thereof of making a choice. Again, that shows up here even more deeper with the Lover's card. That's all about making a choice, you know? And that being in the reverse, Wheel of Fortune being next to it, that's saying this cycle is supposed to be turning, but it's still not making a decision to get onto the boat. So this reading, my wonderful Capricorns, falls into a forewarning, right? To be forewarned is to be forearmed. This isn't saying that this is how your month has to play out. It's saying if you don't make a decision, or if you do tit for tat, like this person seems unbothered, so you're going to seem unbothered, but you seem unbothered, but you really bothered. It's like in the midst of that, it's like energy is just passing you by. Time is passing you by. Now with this 5 of Swords in the reverse, something that was once upon a time an external conflict, a conflict between you and someone else, has now become a conflict between you and yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's a conflict between you and yourself. Because all of this, it's all past emotional energy, unprocessed emotions. Every single time you've been backstabbed, betrayed, abandoned, whatever the case, it's ruminating on this. And now this, fight or conflict you had with someone else is now inside of you. Now with this Hermit card, it completely takes on 2 different manifestations now, right? Because with major arcanas, these are things that are like, bam, dropping hammers like Thor, here it is, this is what's happening, right? So the whole premise with this is saying to me is in the month of November, right? We're going to go from beginning to end here. In October, something ended, there was a disconnect. The purpose for this was coming into November for, you have your little time, feel your little way, get back into alignment with yourself, stand in your power, step into your new beginning, cut ties with the past, heal conflicts. The wheel turns, now you're ushered into a new beginning, one in which you elected, like a new path that you chose to walk into that's in alignment with your highest good. This Hermit energy was intended to be an energy in which, even if you were kind of feeling away still throughout the course of the month, it's going within, tapping back into your inner light. Or if you don't really know how to move forward or what the next step is, it's closing your eyes to see clearly, tapping into that inner light, getting guidance, like reattuning to what's important to you and making steps in that direction. You know what I'm saying? But now, if one were to allow themselves to sit in this energy and start slowing down, because that's what lower vibrational energy does, of like anger, sadness, shame, guilt, like all of these are low vibrational energies. Low vibrational energy is heavy. Spirit's quick, fast, right? High vibrational, joyous, vibrational love, all this good stuff, right? That can usher you forward quickly. But with this, it's kind of that okie doke I was warning everyone about last month, of how even though this cycle changes, the slate is clean. If our minds don't change, right, we can recreate the past in the present and thus into the future. This would be a perfect example of how that happens. And it's a dark distraction because it's insidious how it's happening. It's an unfair situation. You feel a way about it, but it was a trap. You know what I'm saying? It's like a temptation or a test, if you even want to look at it like that. It's like, yeah, there's this disconnect between you and this person. And this is something you may not have wanted to lose or hurt a lot to lose. And it's like, now, how are you going to handle this situation? Are you going to handle it like your old self? Or are you going to handle it like the person you're stepping into? Not saying to deny your feelings. You have every right to feel what you feel and to allow yourself to process your emotions and feel them. However, this is a whole nother ball game, because it's a lot of ruminating thoughts and things of the sort. So where that can taint this energy with the Hermit is, as opposed to going within to find the light, one goes within and goes deeper and deeper and deeper into the dark. It's going more into self-loathing and shame and anger, and this isn't fair and things of the sort. And while all of that is happening, this energy is still moving. Wheel of Fortune comes in, cycle is changing, and Capricorn still hasn't made their decision. You feel what I'm saying? So it's vacating your heart into your mental space, and mental space being trapped into the past. So the key is here, Capricorn, the advice in all of this is to liberate yourself from the situation. It goes back to the two options that you have, right? If this person, you haven't heard from this person, you have the power to make a decision. You know, it's like if a person doesn't give you an answer, that's your answer, you know, or looking at it from the perspective of understanding that the main thing that is holding you back is you waiting for someone else to determine when or how you move forward. And that's handing your power over to another person, right? So even though it may be fearful to consider such of a thing, because I think like, because I'm hearing a lot of stuff, man. I'm hearing thoughts like, you know, what if they were going through something and, you know, I just cut them off and they come back and it's like, oh, wow, you know, my dog died and you just cut me off. And it's like a fear of something like that. But the whole key is here, you have to think realistically about the character of the person that it is that you're dealing with. You have to look intently at the situation, much like I told Pisces, who I did before you, that sometimes you need an objective opinion, because you can look back at the situation and still feel like you're not really seeing it clearly, whether that's you blaming yourself or you solely blaming the other person, because it can manifest in two different ways here. But whether it's bringing in wise counsel or a third party to give you insight into the situation, or if it's you guys just having to buck up and be bold and trust yourself and to make a decision, especially if this is somebody ghosting you. If this is someone ghosting you, that's just inexcusable. You know what I'm saying? You know, or if it's someone like if you're in a romantic relationship and this person just like is doing a silent treatment or something, it's like that's something you need to speak to, you know, and calling it out, talking about it, and not letting fear have its way. Because whatever the case, even if it's just fearful of you hearing what it is you already know, or fearing, you know, what the answer would be, in that case, you'd be disempowering yourself to the fear. So this is all about you guys stepping back into a position of power and seeing how one is disempowering themselves either to fear the unknown or another person. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about getting clarity. And even if you don't have it, it's like sometimes you just got to use your context clues and go with it. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys don't want to miss this opportunity. Because I feel like Capricorn, look, okay, I done read for y'all long enough. The Capricorns I resonate with, you guys have been through some stuff in the last couple of years. And I feel this is something like you owe this to yourself. Like this is about you choosing yourself. Like bump other people, bump how they feel. It's like, this is an opportunity for you. This is so weird. This came out in Pisces reading, the card play. But it's like, this is something that you're doing for you, is you choosing you and making yourself a priority. And I feel like you guys owe that to yourself. You know, like these energies are in support of you. Don't miss this opportunity, grasp hold of it. But I feel like I have to say again, this is showing you guys worst case scenario of what could happen if you don't take your power back via your choice. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, we have play. And it says, beloved one, it's time to set aside work for a while. Don't worry. We will oversee your responsibilities to their completion. Playfulness, gaiety, and laughter will lift your energy so that you'll return to work with a renewed perspective and heightened energy. This speaks to me a great deal about this Hermit card, but this is also a good energy to implement here. And just like how I explained it to Pisces, it's like, you guys' situation is a little serious. So, you know, homegirl is not about to tell you, oh, you know, go swing on the swings, Capricorn. Like, stop worrying about this. Go swing on the swings. Go play a little Scrabble. Like, I'm not going to tell you to do that. I feel this vibrationally is speaking to how we gain dominion over energies. And how we gain dominion over energies is by combating one with the other, right? Like, is not is. So you guys being in a state of like unrest or anxiety, sleeplessness, what have you, it's counterbalancing that energy with doing something that actually brings you joy, or spending time with people or a person that you actually enjoy, just to get you out of the energy temporarily so you can get clear. It's the equivalent for all my writers out there. It's equivalent to what happens with writer's block. If you know you're trying to write a chapter or finish your book or whatever, and you're sitting there staring at the computer screen and nothing is coming out, it's like sitting there for the foreseeable future probably ain't gonna bring you nothing, right? But if you did something as simple as going to make a cup of coffee, stepping outside, walking around your block, calling a friend, watching an episode of something on Netflix, that's breaking up the energy because you're no longer channeling your energy at that particular chapter. So now you can switch it up a little and that inspiration will find you. It's kind of like my dad always said, is that a watch pot never boils, right? Whenever you're intently focused on something, it's really hard to catch that wave of inspiration. And I feel with my Capricorn people, the thing that you guys have been intently focused on is a situation that involves another person. And for some of you, even if this does involve another person, this is also happening inside of you, right? So it's a situation that's happening within yourself. For some, it may be easier to recognize with another person, but it's like if it's within yourself, it's feeling kind of off kilter, your inspiration isn't coming or you're not hearing spirit as clear. And sitting and ruminating on that is not going to give you the solution that you seek. But stepping away from it, bringing in another person, getting a second opinion, whatever the case will, if that makes sense. The next card that you guys have, this is so funny, creative projects. So some of y'all might really be writing books out there. I would like a copy. You know what I'm saying? If I could write like a little review or something like that, give you a little review on Amazon or something like that, promote it on the channel, whatever the case. Holla at your girl in email. Anywho, creative project. Your soul longs to express itself in creative ways. We're guiding you to infuse artistry and creativity into your life. Creative expression makes you feel alive and excited and reignites passion toward your life. I think that's something very helpful, especially if this is feeling kind of bogged down at work. It's all about, and it's very similar to this energy too. It's redirecting that energy into something else. Even if this is journaling, if you're a poet writing poetry, it's if you can't, communicate this to someone, or it's not possible for you to say what it is that you feel to this person, it's taking and writing out a letter you may never send, writing a poem about it, or making some sort of creative piece to channel that energy. Because at the end of the day, that's really what we're talking about here, people, is energy, right? Emotions are energy in motion. That it's an energy, and it has to be transferred to another form. So you want to get it out you in any way that you can. So anywho, Capricorn, that has been your solar session. I'm going over to my network, Patreon, YouTube members, Vimeo, all the places to do you guys extended, where we're going to do a breakdown of this energy and look at it week by week, and then give you guys a sneak peek into December. So if you're about that life, my friend, follow me over there. But if not, I still love your freaking face, Capricorn. And I will see you guys sooner than later, my friends. Make that choice, Cappy.